Where on earth are you? Why aren't you here preparing dinner? How many times do I have to remind you? In this household, we eat breakfast at 6:30 a.m. and dinner at 6 p.m. You've lived for 3 years already. It's frustrating that I still have to repeat myself like this. Why do I have to guide you through everything as if you're a novice? This is precisely why having strict parents is seen as an advantage. If your parents hadn't been so lenient about meal times, I wouldn't have to teach you from scratch. I don't have time for this nonsense.
Hey, Evelyn, sorry, I'm downtown at the butcher's. Peter said he wanted ribs for dinner tonight, so I came to get some high-quality pork. I'll be back as soon as I pick it up and also get the bottle of wine he asked for.
Why do you always leave things until the last minute and rush around? Didn't we give you a grocery list at the beginning of the week? What could be more important for a homemaker than thinking about lunch right after breakfast and planning dinner after lunch? It's not that difficult. Your responsibility is to ensure everything runs smoothly in this house. I'm really tired of your lack of initiative.
I'm doing my best, Evelyn. Maybe you could lend me a hand and share the load?
What? That's absurd. I've been doing these tasks my whole life, but now I have you to do them for me, right? That's the whole point of having a daughter-in-law, to train her to do the work I won't be able to as I grow older. You're a part of the Addams family now, so stop making excuses and start contributing. Being a woman in this family isn't something to be taken lightly.
I'm not a homemaker and you know that. I have my job. I can't fulfill all your requests all the time. You're the stay-at-home housewife. Can't you handle a few things while I'm at work? It would really help me, and you know better what needs to be done.
Are you looking down on me for being a stay-at-home wife? It's a demanding full-time job, you know? Without me, your father-in-law wouldn't have been able to focus solely on his work, and the same goes for my children and their well-being. And your job is just a part-time cashier position at a local convenience store. What do you have to be proud of? You're not saving lives out there. Do you realize how embarrassing it is for me to talk about you with my friends? A daughter-in-law working as a cashier. My friends have in-laws who are doctors and professors. Maybe this is a good opportunity for you to quit. Yes, why don't you quit your meaningless job and focus on the household chores that need attention?
I don't work for the thrill of it. I need the extra income to afford the things I want. Steven can only give me $80 a month for my personal expenses. If I need money, I have to work for it. It's not like I'm looking for thousands of dollars. Between my job and my fertility clinic visits, I can't always have dinner ready by 6 p.m., especially if you expect me to take care of Peter's daily needs. And it's not like you and Peter have no savings. Can't you help us out? It's the least you could do after I agreed to move in and assist with Peter and household chores. I didn't sign up to do everything by myself all the time.
Jamazy and money management are crucial for being a successful homemaker. Do you think you have it any harder than anyone else, especially in this day and age where machines do most of the work for us? Look around you. We are the first generation in history to rely so heavily on technology. Almost everything can be done with the press of a button most of the time. Are you so lazy that you won't even do that? And we're not as well off as you might think. We're comfortable, yes, but it's because your father-in-law invested most of our savings into buying this large 2,000 square foot house. So don't come running to us for financial help.
Well, it seems like I need to keep my job and earn extra money whenever possible. And it also sounds like you should contribute more around the house so that I can continue working.
That's not going to happen, especially now that James is planning to move back in with us. We'll need all the help we can get.
What? James is moving back in?
Yes, isn't it wonderful news? It has always been Peter and my dream to live with our boys, their wives, and their children under one roof. Our grandchildren. That's why we bought this house, even though it nearly depleted our savings.
How am I only finding out about James now?
Because I'm telling you now. I heard it was challenging for him to convince his new wife, Irene, to move in with his parents for the first few years. Don't spoil it for them and make them feel unwelcome, will you? You have to make her feel like she made the right choice. A lot is at stake here. Oh, Irene is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, and she always dresses impeccably. I never thought my James could bring home such a stunning fiancé, let alone marry her. Maybe living with her under one roof will motivate you to take better care of yourself. I bet Irene knows all the latest fashion trends and makeup tips. 2 birds with 1 stone.
Are you serious? I have to live with not only my husband's parents but also his brother and his new wife? I'm sorry, Evelyn, but that's not okay. Firstly, there's not enough space for 3 adult couples in that house. A 2,000 square foot house may have been considered a mansion in your time, but it's not spacious enough for 6 adults. And we only have 2 bathrooms. Are we going to have to share? I'm trying to conceive.
Oh, stop complaining. You'll get used to it soon enough. Besides, you don't have any siblings, so this can be your chance to have a sister. She can teach you all about fashion, makeup, and more. Don't you dare do anything to scare her away. She's way out of James's league, and we can't let her know that. Take good care of her in the first couple of months, won't you?
Take care of her? Do you mean I should do all the household work that I'm currently doing but for James and his wife as well? Are you telling me to do their laundry, cook their meals, clean their room, and serve them hand and foot? Just so they feel welcome?
Well, it's your duty as the first one welcomed into this family, isn't it? What good are you if you can't be a stellar representative of our family to the newest addition? Besides, James told me the one condition Irene had for moving in with us was that we treat her like a guest. That's not a bad compromise, is it? Think about it. How difficult and uncomfortable must it be for her to suddenly live with 4 strangers? She's a sweetheart for agreeing to it, all for the love of her husband. So keep up the appeasement at all costs. Understood?
No, I won't do any of that.
What? Are you talking back to me? I am your mother-in-law, and as long as you live under my roof, you will do as I say.
If you're so desperate to impress her, you can do it yourself. I've done enough here. Consider this my notice. I'm moving out, with or without your son. I've had enough.
How dare you say that? Especially now when Peter needs round-the-clock care. If that's your idea of a sick joke, stop it right now. It's not funny, and now is not the time. Come back home immediately and apologize to us.
I need to go, nothing left to say.
I'm not done with you. Don't ignore my messages.
Is it true that James and his new wife are moving in with us too? Your mom just told me about it.
Yeah, they're actually planning to move in this weekend.
This weekend? That's only 3 days away, Stephen. How did everyone else find out before me? And now I'm expected to handle all the cleaning and preparations for their move? Where were you in all of this? Did you have any say in the decision? And why wasn't I invited to discuss such a major life? What else can I do to be treated like a real family member?
I didn't expect you to react so strongly. Are you being overly sensitive? Just calm down. This is just a small problem. Didn't you already know about it?
What? Are you seriously saying that to your wife?
Come on, it was just a joke, babe. No need to get so jealous and upset. Why have you been so short-tempered with me lately? It's like you're constantly on edge, as if you want to harm me in my sleep. You seem like a starving animal sometimes.
You're the one who made me feel this way. It's all because of your overbearing mother. Do you even realize what I have to deal with during the day while you're at work or attending dinner parties? I can't accept this anymore. I refuse to live like this.
What can we do? The decision has already been made, and it's my parents' house. They have the final say. Please, don't do anything irrational that will only make matters worse for you. If my dad's condition worsens, it will surely scare Irene away.
After talking to Stephen, I truly had nothing left to say. Just because of the beautiful and seductive daughter-in-law, my whole family could demand unreasonable things from me. I no longer had any regrets in this house. My husband was too useless and childish. After that, I moved out of that dreadful house and filed for divorce from Stephen. I had more time for my work, and I quickly got promoted. I would rather live alone in a small apartment than live with a foolish husband and a malicious family in a mansion.
Hello. How have you been? I hope all is well. I can't believe it's already been 2 months since you left us. Have you found your footing being on your own? I wanted to apologize. We may have acted hastily. It's become clear to us that we didn't treat you in the best way while you were with us. We can see that now. Please forgive us, dear. It never occurred to us that you could be uncomfortable. Are you also regretting the separation? You must be feeling lonely and missing the sense of family, am I right? Why don't you consider coming back to us?
I'm not separated from your son. We're divorced. We've gone through the legal process and signed the official documents.
Well, that doesn't really matter, does it? Those are just papers. They can't break up a marriage. Don't be silly. There must be more than a legal bond between you and my son. I'm not too concerned about technicalities. I'm willing to accept you back into this family with or without legal documents. Of course, that's if you're open to this offer. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I've realized that you're the only daughter-in-law I truly approve of. I simply failed to express that enough for you to understand, and that's my fault. I should have treated you like the wonderful daughter that you are.
Evelyn, what in the world? Did something happen to you? Have you had a stroke or hit your head somewhere? I have absolutely no intention of returning to that miserable place, let alone willingly becoming a part of your family again. What's the matter? Are you looking for a free live-in caretaker? You already have a daughter-in-law at your disposal. Use her. Make her your maid, chef, and nurse. Why did you even think of coming back to me like this? This is not like you. Please stop talking to me.
Oh, I can't even begin to talk about that Irene girl. All I can say is that she relies too much on her beauty. Silly girl, beauty is only a temporary advantage. She's too young and pretty for her own good. You won't believe what she said to us. She claimed to be like a shining star that brightens her surroundings just by being there, so she can't be expected to do much else. She's always too busy shining, she said. She doesn't know the first thing about living with others. She's never cleared her own plate after dinner or picked her long blonde hair out of the shower. The other day, she walked by me while I was giving Peter a sponge bath, and I saw her cringe. God forbid, what if my son falls ill someday? Will she leave him to be taken care of by a stranger in a nursing home?
Didn't you once tell me that we don't have it as hard in this day and age with advanced machines and technology? You called me lazy and said that all I needed to do was press a button, if I recall correctly.
I know, darling. I deeply regret my arrogance. I suppose I was trying to assert my authority in the house, but it was all for nothing.
Well, you certainly succeeded in asserting it. Why don't you do the same with the new girl? What good is a daughter-in-law? Right, Evelyn?
I've tried. Trust me, I've tried everything with Irene. At the slightest hint of criticism, she runs to her husband and complains about me. And you know James, he's not like Stephen. James would take his wife's side and scold me for being an overbearing mother-in-law.
Oh yes, I remember Jamesathi being quite outspoken, unlike his brother. I should have known better than to marry a man who couldn't stand up to his mother for his wife.
That's not the point I'm trying to make, dear. I'm just asking you to do the right thing. You have to come back. There's nobody on my side here. Both my foolish sons are completely infatuated with Irene, and even their old father is nagging me to leave his babies alone. Can you believe these people?
Why don't you just kick them out then?
They won't listen. Irene insists that she's never had to do anything around the house growing up, like a pretty little princess. She demands that I fulfill my end of the agreement and treat her like a special guest because that was the deal. She expects breakfast and dinner to be served on the table. The other day, she sat down and ordered 2 eggs as if I were running a diner.
That's unfortunate, Evelyn. I'm sorry to hear that you're having trouble with your son's wives. It seems like Irene is doing to you exactly what you did to me, isn't it? You reap what you sow, don't you agree? But as I'm no longer one of those daughters-in-law, this is not my problem in any shape or form. I'll be blocking you now.
Wait, could you at least lend me some money? These imbecile sons of mine won't give me more than the bare minimum. I let them eat my food and stay in my house without paying rent, and this is how they repay me. Stephen is giving me the $80 a month he used to provide for you. But James won't give me more than $40 because his wife manages their finances. They only spare their mother $120 a month. Could you lend me maybe $2,000? No, $1,000 is all I ask. I'm sure you're doing well with your new job and no additional mouths to feed.
I distinctly remember you telling me that the $80 Stephen gave me should be sufficient and that good money management is key to being a great homemaker. Why don't you sell your precious house if you need money? The audacity to come back to me for money is simply appalling. Goodbye, Evelyn. If you attempt to contact me or approach me again, I will involve the police. After cutting off all contact from my ex-husband's family, I completely focused on my current job and got promoted to store manager. I genuinely love this job as it not only provides me with income, but also brings me joy every day. As for my ex-husband's family, due to excessive conflicts and unbalanced expenses, they had to sell the 2,000 square meter mansion and move to a smaller apartment. Their spoiled daughter-in-law still complains all day long and wastes money recklessly. This is truly the price they have to pay.